Our task for today is really to put into perspective what is the nature of the K-12 curriculum in the context of how are we going to deliver the practical research one. Okay? So in order for me to start my session, allow me to share with you a story that happened in a classroom. Okay? There was once a professor who placed a jar in front of the classroom and then started placing all the tennis balls on the jar, inside the jar. And then he asked all his students, "Class, is this jar full?" And all of them answered, "Yes sir, it's already full of tennis balls." However, he asked one student to get a bag of sand and place it. He started placing it on the jar. And then once again, he asked the students, "Is this jar full this time?" And all of them said, "Yes, sir, it's already full." But the professor decided to get another thing, and he decided to get this. What's that? Beer. He started putting it on the jar, and this time the students were laughing because they were thinking that it was already full. But unfortunately, there is still something that can seep through the sand and the gravel. Now, if we're going to analyze the analogy, if we're going to use the jar, let's say if the jar is our life. If we place all the beer first, can we place the tennis balls inside? No. Why? What will happen to the tennis balls? It will just float, and you cannot place it inside the jar. You know, there's something about alcohol which symbolizes happiness, enjoyment. Right? You try this. You start drinking alcohol now, and then you look at the person beside you. Slowly, you will become more and more handsome, more and more beautiful. Diba? Magkagwapa yung tupad kung sa alcohol. But if we place at the center of our life things about like enjoyment, things like lingaw-lingaw, somehow if we don't place first the big things, we cannot place the small things anymore. Right? So what are the big things in our profession as a teacher? Especially now, you're already research mentors. We will claim that. We will be researchers because we cannot teach something we don't have. And sometimes we need to pretend to be one in order to become one. Okay? But at the context of our profession as a teacher, what are the things that matter the most? Our students. Okay? Other things, let's give a round of applause for that. It's very good. You know why? Because Mama's place, the students, so many big things. Pinakadang mo niya para ang estudyante. What other things? Content knowledge. And the question about how are we going to make our students learn. And that's very hard because it's not easy. Right? Okay? So learning in the context of the K-12 curriculum is very essential. It's very essential for us to really unlock. What is K-12? Who of you here are newly hired? Karoon lang yun na-hire this year. Wala pa yung idea about the K-12. But I'm sure you have heard a lot of things about the K-12. Is it good or the negative things? Are these things positive or negative? Okay? So let's try to check first because we will try to level first. How do we approach the K-12 curriculum in terms of teaching practical research? Okay? So, is this familiar to you? How many of you here came from junior high school? Isa come on. Okay? So, are you familiar with this? What we call this? It's our K-12. It's the curriculum framework, the K-12. Okay? And let's check. Who is at the center? It is the learner. Okay? And it's really a good thing Ma'am mentioned what are the big things in your life, in the profession of being a teacher. She mentioned these are my students. Okay? So, well, in fact, you are in line, Ma'am, with the K-12 curriculum framework. At the center are the students. Right? So, at this point, di na lang mag-discuss na natin because you have already had that in your common topics. Let's go directly to what you know about the K-12 curriculum. Okay? So based on your understanding of the K-12 curriculum, how should the K-12 curriculum be taught? Saan mo siya pagdulog? Okay? And based on that, that will lead you to write your description of the K-12 curriculum. So, can I ask please, my co-facilitators to please distribute meta cards on the tables. And in your group, what you're going to do is you're going to decide on words that would describe the K-12 curriculum. Okay? And you will place it here. Alright? So, you can now start discussing what are these words. No replication of words for each group. Okay? Leader, make sure na hindi magbalik-balik ang mga words. So, you can now start talking about it.